Hi there, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. Ed Welsh is our guest. Ed wears many hats in the community. We're going to talk about his AAA hat. Mostly today, he is the regional general manager of AAA Northeast, but he also serves as the chairman of the board at CABVI and has been hosting Auto Talk for, 31 years?
31 years.
And that's on Saturdays, WIBX, from 9 to 10.
Correct.
And in the media business, anything you can do for 31 years straight is a long time.
Well, I think the only one that tops me is you.
Well, maybe. But it's a long time, and
It is. You know, I jokingly, I tell people, they say, how long are you going to do this? And I said, well, I started before Rush Limbaugh. I want to still be there after he retires so I can say I got bragging rights.
And we're gonna talk about AAA in a second, but as long as we going down the Auto Talk road, the concept, the idea, where did that come from?
I was working for AAA, and I ran into Tom Coyne. And Tom was the program director up there, and we used to have the show The Talk of Central New York,
I remember it
which
well.
he hosted. And he asked me to come in as a guest to talk about some car care things. So I came in, and he announced I was going to be on. We did a nice job with that. Had a lot of phone calls, and they called me back and invited me back. Then after the second trip, I got a phone call to go to lunch. And Tom Yurchak was the general manager up there at the time. So Tom, we went to lunch, and they basically pitched the idea that I do a weekly show. Mm-hmm. I was absolutely scared to death of that. And the good news is I cut my teeth. The first 10 years I did this was noon to 2 on Saturday. So I literally had to learn how to talk for 2 hours without a whole lot of calls, especially in the middle of summertime.
Yeah. And
so that was kind of like how we learned the business. And but I've always enjoyed it, and I've always been blessed that WIBX has kept me around this long.
And Tom Coyne is now the news director here?
Yes, he is. Tom and I go way back.
I was thinking of you the other day because I was at the car show at Munson Williams Proctor Institute during their Sidewalk Art Show festival, and I was looking at some of those vintage cars they had in the back parking lot, and they had my dream vintage car, which was an Oldsmobile 442.
What a great car. And of course the 442 was 4-barrel carburetor, 4 on the floor with a 4-speed and dual exhaust. And very famous car.
Yeah.
And a very, very desirable car if you have one today.
And it got me thinking, what was your vintage dream car?
I was a Pontiac guy.
Mm-hmm.
So GTOs was my sort of thing. And so a GTO Judge, any big block GTO, 66 GPO, perhaps one with tri-power with a 389, 66, 67. So those are the cars I really liked. So I was more of a Pontiac guy.
When I look at these vintage cars, I have the same kind of thoughts that I have when I think of my comic book collection and my baseball card collection. Why the hell didn't I hang on to that stuff?
You know, things change, and I think for most people, they have a car like that when they're young, and then they get family. Things change in their life, and they've got to become more practical.
Yeah.
So a muscle car is generally not a practical thing. So you get to more practical transportation, and time goes by, and perhaps you can change, you have the resources to change what you have. Then you say, boy, I wish I had that car back. See, now, 20 years from now, all the kids are going to complain to their moms for their Pokemon cards out. So that's what's going to happen. So,
when you get back into these cars, I like this show. I can't think of the name of it. I like it so much I can't think of the name of it. But it's an auction, and they parade all those cars out there. Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
Barrett Jackson and the Meekum auctions. I do watch them.
Yeah.
Admittedly, it's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
And over the years, I've met a few people that are buyers that are known car collectors. So sometimes I'll see somebody I actually know that's at Barrett Jackson, and one of the things I've yet to do, but I want to go to their Arizona auction. It's the January one. It's the biggest one of the year, and it's really a celebration of the automobile more than anything else. One
more question about cars. You know more about cars than anyone I've ever met. What kind of car do you drive, your personal car?
I drive a Ford Escape. We've got and then I've got my summer car is a Pontiac, as you can imagine. So,
well, that makes me feel a little bit good because I drive a Ford Escape too. So,
well, you picked well, Joe.
The AAA Northeast Region General Manager. What is the Northeast Region?
The Northeast Region, our AAA Northeast, we operate from Boston through Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Jersey, and New York State. So that's our main footprint. We have a piece of New Hampshire, and we generally are in those places. We have about 62 branch offices, about 5.7 million members, and we've got a pretty large footprint. In the AAA family, our AAA is the fourth largest one in the country.
And not to get bogged down too much in history today, but I think it's worth noting that the Utica AAA really does have great history. What is it, the third oldest in the country?
Well, we were one of the original 8 that started AAA, and we started in 1901, so we started a year before AAA started. So the Auto Club of Utica has been here since 1901, and we've been in downtown Utica since 1901.
And have a bigger presence in downtown Utica now because of your operation in the old Slocum-Dixon building.
Yes, and we're expanding there, and we've got about 170 employees in Utica. We have a new office in New Hartford about a year now. We just opened another brand new office in Oneonta, built a new office there. We have an office in Cooperstown. So that's and of course our office at 409 Court Street, where we've been since 1964.
When we and you said you're expanding the Slocum-Dixon building?
Yes.
Yeah. What are you looking for?
What we're doing is our road service call center is expanding. Our travel services call center is expanding. Our exclusive vacations call center is expanding. So those are all 3 call center presence we have here in Utica. And Central New York is a great place for us to do business. We have a good workforce here. Central New York has a lot of good technology, so we're wired good here. So with all the banking and things that have been done here over the years, our infrastructure as far as internet is very good here. So having voice over IP and all the modern technology you need to run a business today, we're wired pretty good here. So this is a great spot for call center operation. The other thing is that we're geographically in a great spot because the rest of our business, most of our members are on the coast. So when we talk about storms and bad weather happening, like a nor'easter or a terrible rainstorm, Hurricane Sandy is a great example, we're able to function here because we're in a different weather pattern. So the company's also looked at where strategically are good places to put call centers so that we always have the ability to serve our members no matter what happens.
When we come back, you can tell people how they can apply for one of those jobs if they're interested. And we'll also talk about a study that AAA has done about when you should get done driving, at what age you should get done driving.
It's a tough topic.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we come back, too. Ed Welsh is our guest. He's the General Manager, AAA Regional Northeast. Short break, right back.